everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christina and I'm a cross stitcher from Ontario, Canada. To everyone who is returning, thank you so much for coming back. And to everyone who is new here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the video. This is Flosstube episode 13. It's my end of January update. I'm going to talk to you about everything I worked on in January. We have a start and finish. We have 5 whips that I worked on, and then I have 1 new start that I worked on. And at the end of the video, I'm going to quickly talk about what my plans are for February. So let's get started. In my last video, if you saw, I talked about how I started a Etsy shop for my cross stitch designs. And I just had 2 patterns in there right now, but I have a new design that I'm releasing today. It's like Valentine's related, and so it'll be up there today, and that is what my start and finish is, because I started and finished it. Technically I finished it today, this morning, so it's a February finish, but mostly January. So the pattern is called All You Need Is Love. I'm going to show it to you here. This is the pattern. I have the fabric folded because I have a lot of extra fabric still. But anyways, this is All You Need Is Love. This is done on a 32 count Lugana. The fabric color is called Eek by Picture This Plus. And I've done it 2 strands over 2 on 32 count, and I'm using 5 different DMC colors. All the colors will be listed in the pattern, but the total design size is 88 by 92 stitches, so it's not huge, but I actually really love it. That's a pretty good representation of the color right there. And so if you are interested in this, it's going to be up in my shop today, and you guys can go check it out. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who mentioned that they went and checked my shop out from my last video. I really appreciate the support, and like liking the shop or liking the patterns. It just really helps to get it out there. So I really appreciate all the support that I received so far. And I hope you guys like this pattern as well. Okay, next up. So next up, I'm going to go into the 5 whips that I worked on. So I mentioned that I'm doing whip go. So the first 2 projects no wait, was it the first 2? No, because in my last video I had already finished one of my whip go goals. So I was just working on the second one, which the first one I did was Halloween Quaker, and I had already finished it in my last video, so I showed you that. So the second whip go goal that I was working on for January was Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. And my goal was to do 1,500 stitches on it. So this is, I'll insert a picture here of what it looked like from my whip braid, so you guys can see the progress that I've made on it. But this is what it looks like now. And so I worked down, I think, the majority of this motif, and then I started adding in these little motifs, and I brought the border down a bit. But this was, 1,500 stitches was my goal for whip go, and I managed to complete that. So this is a 40 count Newcastle linen. Color is natural. Natural and flax are like 2 of my favorite linen colors to work on. So I do a lot on that. But I'm stitching this 1/2 using DMC 400. And the 1,500 stitches brought me from 11.6% up to 17.2% complete. Next up, I decided to work on my oldest whip, which is Snow Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like during my whip braid. But I decided to do 1 square from it. So I added in this square down here, which is the Skate and Sled Shop. And I finished that one. I want to say it was like maybe 5 days of stitching. I don't think it took me too long to do, but I finished that one, so I added a full other square to it. And this hadn't gotten a lot of attention in a while, so it was nice to put some work into it. But anyways, this is a 32 count linen in pearl gray. I'm stitching 2/2 using all the called for Classic Colorworks and DMC colors. So next up, I have a monthly goal of 2,700 stitches on my daughter's birth sampler, which is called Bienvenue by Long Dot Samplers. So I needed to complete that goal, my 2,700 stitches. So I'm gonna insert a picture of where it was the last time you saw it. But I think I was only like 500 stitches off of my goal in my last video. So this is where it is now. And so for the 2,700 stitches for this month, I did this whole majority of this bottom motif plus like this. I did this square here, and I started a few of these ones, like this little one and this little one, and that brought me to my 1,500 stitches. I'm doing this on a 32 count Belfast linen. The color is called Moon Dust. I'm doing it 2 strands over 2 using Threadworks 1041. I can't remember exactly what, I don't know the color name, but it's 1041. It's like a variegated purple color. And I actually put in 2,706 stitches, 2,706 stitches this month. And that brought me up to 34.7% complete. So after that was done, I went to my next goal, which is for the Heaven and Earth Designs 2024 SAL that I'm working on. So I've calculated to finish the first part by the time the second part comes out, I need to do about 7,700 stitches a month. And so I got to work on that, and this is where I'm at now. And let's bring it forward a bit so you can see it. But this is, I actually did 8,207 stitches in January. I'm doing this in 10 stitch, so that's actually like, I'm only doing half stitch. So 8,200 stitches sounds like a lot, but it's only half stitches. I'm using a 28 count Easy Grid. I like to use the Easy Grid or gridded fabric for my full coverage pieces. And I ended up at 38.5% complete of part 1. Not of the whole thing, but of part 1. Okay, next up, I had some time since I finished all my goals in January. So I spun my my whip wheel. Like I have a Tiny Decisions wheel app, and I spun that, and it ended up selecting Pandemic, and it selected 750 stitches. So I pulled out Pandemic to work on, and so I'm gonna show you, this is where I'm at on Pandemic. So I ended up working on this part over here is where I added in for the 750 stitches. I actually ended up doing 776 stitches. This is a 25 count natural Lugana. I'm stitching 1/1 using DMC 632. And my stitches for this month brought me from 9.2% to 10.2% complete. So I added 1% to this project in January. Okay, so the last project that I wanted to show you is my new start. I started it on January 13th. And it is Trelawney's Library by the Cross Stitch Studio. I'm going to insert a picture of what the finished piece will look like. It's a full coverage piece. It's the largest piece that I've ever started. It measures in at 800 by 800 stitches. So this will take me probably my entire life to stitch. But I just really loved the piece as soon as I saw it, so I had to stitch it. And I started in January I did 2,458 stitches. Again, these are half stitches because I'm doing 10 stitch, so these are half stitches. Because I'm doing 10 stitch, these are half stitches. So this is where I'm at. Yep, I'm holding it the right way. This is where I'm at on this, and I've worked entirely in this one color, which I think is 938, a dark navy blue. And I'm doing this again on a 28 count gridded Lugana. So, Trelawney's Library. Okay, and quickly, because my camera is about to die, my February plans. So Whip Go. I kind of rearranged my Whip Go board for this month because I wanted to focus on full coverage February, and I wanted to focus on my full coverage pieces. So the first piece that I'll be doing for my first Whip Go call will be the Grand Library for 1,500 stitches. All my Whip Go goals are 1,500 stitches per project. So the Grand Library, I'll show a picture of what the finished piece will look like, and what it looked like during my whip parade. The second Whip Go piece will be Magical Merry-Go-Round. Again, I'll insert a picture of the finished and then a picture of where mine was at during my whip parade. So both of those I'll aim to do 1,500 stitches on each. Then I need to do another 2,700 stitches on Beyond Venue, the birth sampler that I'm doing. And I also want to do 7,700 stitches on my Heaven and Earth design stitch along for 2024. So all of that is a lot. And I think I can get it done, but if I can't, I mean, they're just goals. But if I do complete all of that, then I made a decision wheel of just my full coverage pieces, and I will spin that and then spin the stitch count wheel and go from there about which piece I'm going to work on and for how many stitches, because I really want to focus on my full coverage projects for full coverage February, and the exception to that being the birth sampler. So that should be the only non-full coverage whip that I work on in February. But again, my plans may change because I like to stitch what I like at the time, not necessarily stick to strict schedules or routines. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, for coming back. Thank you. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, you want to see more of my videos, please like, and subscribe. I'm putting some links. I'll put a link down below to my Etsy shop if you wanted to go check out my All You Need Is Love design. If you wanted to purchase that, it's there in my Etsy shop. If you just want to like the shop, I really, really appreciate all the support. And I think I'll be back in 2 weeks. If I'm not, I'll definitely be back at the end of February for a February update, but I'm really hoping to be back in 2 weeks from now with my progress. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.